Scooby ba ba ba. Skibba da dee 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 hush. La ba da dee 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 dee.
So, an update came on April 6th, which offered us 4 new guns and a new map. Well, also changing up some other practical stuff, which I'm not going to be talking about. These 4 guns are the BWC9A, the 50, the MGV176, and the Stoner 96. I'm going to be talking about the 50 right now, as I think that this gun is probably the most interesting gun out of all these 3. So, it's a pretty fun SMG, it has high recoil, and it's a high damage burst SMG, which is pretty interesting because I'm not sure if there were any other burst SMGs in this game. One of the interesting things about it is that it has 2 ammo types, which I will obviously be talking about. The .50 GI, which is the default ammo for this gun, is pretty much the lowest ammo capacity ammo type for this gun. It has amazing damage, having the ability to one-shot a person in the face, or 2-shot body kill in close range, of course. Well, it's basically a Colt SMG .50 GI conversion that turned into a weapon. For the .45 ACP, it's basically the fastest fire rate conversion out of the 2, but it also has pretty high recoil as well. It has a higher ammo capacity, giving plus 10 bullets to the magazine. It's got good damage, it can still kill pretty easily. And for the 9mm, it shoots slightly slower than the .45 ACP, but it has less recoil. It has the biggest ammo capacity of the 2 and has the fastest reload. And it still has decent damage, having the ability to 3-shot kill people. So, for the setup, which works for all ammo types, for the sights I personally go with something that is low zoom, like a Reflex, Cobra EKP, or even the Kosaku, but I personally don't use the Kosaku, so I'm going to be sticking with Cobra EKP, which I personally recommend since I used this sight while testing all of the barrel and underbarrel attachments. So, what I chose is the T-brake and the folding grip. I highly recommend that you use the full auto conversion if you dislike burst, which I personally really dislike burst guns in this game. Yeah, that's basically it, and you can choose any type of the conversions that you want. Of course, as I said before, different conversions offer different stats. And for this, I am going to be going with 9mm. Not that I'm saying that it's the best or anything, I personally just find it to be the easiest to control since it has the lowest recoil, and it can also 3-shot kill. I'm not saying that it's the best, it really depends on the person who's using this gun. Right, keep in mind that this probably isn't the best setup for it, it's just what I found to be the best working for me. If you guys do find a better setup, you can always post it in the comments. But yeah, do keep in mind that this isn't completely recoilless. Here are my personal pros and cons of this gun. So, for the pros, it has wide ammo customizations, basically letting you choose which kind of playstyle you want to have with this gun. You can change it from a burst to a fully auto SMG, which is pretty convenient. It has great damage from all the conversions, giving you the ability to basically 3-shot kill any person, except for range, of course. It's pretty fast to run around with. It doesn't consume much time like an LMG or an assault rifle. Well, it's basically doing what an SMG is supposed to do, which is a good thing. And it has pretty good hipfire accuracy. Yeah, this is not a bad gun for hipfire. And for cons, It has really slow fire rate with the full auto conversion, of course. I mean, if you put on the burst, it will have faster fire rate, but I personally really dislike burst guns. And it has very high recoil, unless you have a proper setup, which is what I just showed you. So, would I recommend this gun? To be honest, no, I wouldn't. I think that this gun is a little hard to control, especially for an SMG, since most SMGs don't really have that high recoil. Well, if they do have high recoil, it's usually pretty easy to fix it. But for this gun, it's kind of an enigma for me. I tried all sorts of attachments. I tried stubby grip, pistol grip, any type of grip, any type of muzzle, and it really just didn't want to work for me. Except for this, of course, which is working the best from what I've tested. Overall, I'd give this gun maybe like a 6 out of 10 because it's a decent gun if you know how to use it, and if you can control the recoil, it can be pretty useful at range. So yeah, let's move on to the BWC9A. This gun is really interesting, to me at least. It is really fast, and it's basically a gun that's really just meant for close quarter combat. And it also has really good close range damage. It can 3-shot kill people, similar to the 9mm on the 5.0. So, for the setup, I go with any close range sight. Could be a reflex, could be a Cobra AKP, even a Gosaku, but as I said before, I would go with Cobra AKP, but since I don't have it unlocked yet, I'm just going with reflex. Either way, it should work pretty well. For barrel, I am using an X-ring and a folding grip, so no mods needed, because why would you even put those unless you're a sadist or just like bursts. Any type of laser, I just went with blue. And for ammo, I do recommend an extended mag since 21 round magazine is kind of low for this gun, especially with such high fire rate, so having that 9 extra rounds really does help. But do keep in mind that it does bring down your overall reserve ammo capacity down a little, and it can also increase your reload speed. Compared to the 5.0, this gun has a decent range. At least I can hit my enemies relatively well. But one of the downsides for having an extended magazine is that it just eats ammunition. Yeah, this thing does really eat up ammo. Overall, this gun is really fun. Anyway, this setup is probably not the best either, so if you guys do find a better one, as I said with the 5.0, you can always leave down your setup in the comments. I do suggest including the sight you use because, well, different zooms offer different kind of camera recoil. This was a short demonstration of the BWC9A. Pretty good gun in my opinion. And for the pros and cons. So, to me, it has pretty good damage. It has really fast fire rate. That 1000 RPM is really good. And it has really quick handling. You can run around really fast with it. Its reload speed, even with the extended magazine, is pretty fast. It's not that bad. And for the cons, it has a really low starting magazine. 21 bullets is pretty shit. But with the extended magazine, you do get this reduced reserve ammo capacity, which is also pretty shit, so you do tend to run out of ammo pretty fast on this thing, so keep that in mind if you're using this gun. And it has pretty hard to control recoil, especially for if you have really low kills or just starting out with this gun. Unless you have a proper setup, of course, which is this one. It is basically the best I could find. And would I recommend this gun? Absolute yes. I think it's a very fast SMG, it performs really well, and you can basically shred enemies with it, but do keep in mind this ammo reserve, and the overall fire rate does drain ammo really fast. I would give this gun an 8 out of 10. Now for the LMGs, I am going to be talking firstly about the MGB 176, which is a gun that I don't really have a concrete opinion of, since I haven't played with it as much as the other ones. Now, this is a very interesting gun since it's the first LMG to use a pistol caliber, and I am not including the Hammer IAR since its 9mm conversion got removed. So basically, this is the only LMG that uses pistol ammo. So, it is a very fast LMG, having 1450 RPM, which is insane. And it also has a super high ammo capacity. It also has really low recoil, low hipfire spread, but it has really low damage, only 13. It's a super fast pea shooter. Anyway, for the attachments, I personally go with a reflex sight or a Cobra AKP or any other low zoom sight. I do suggest Cobra AKP, but I decided to buy a reflex for this video because a lot of people do use this sight, and it'll be a better point of reference. So, for muzzle, compensator, really simple. You could probably even try and go with X-Ring, but I didn't try it yet. Lasers, any kind of laser. Ammo, you might get away with hollow point, but do keep in mind, it might be worse. This magazine does kind of get in the way of the sight, so using something that is a little more higher up, like an EOTech sight, does tend to help with it. I think a Cobra EKP does raises it a little bit. But yeah, this thing absolutely shreds people, but not in a way that it is high damage. I would personally consider this gun to be a war crime because if those Roblox characters were real people and they were to come back from war as corpses, no one would recognize them because of how many bullets they would have in them. Yeah, one of the things that you might notice is the very slow ADS move speed, which most LMGs have, but considering how fast you run around with this one, it's kind of weird. You feel sluggish. But to be honest, you don't really need a good setup to make this thing easy to control. You could even like put on a suppressor and be done with it. This gun is basically the definition of death by 1,000 paper cuts. And that's how the NGV-176 performs. Pretty interesting gun in my opinion. For the pros, it has extremely fast fire rate, probably one of the highest I've seen on a gun. It has pretty easy to control recoil, and you don't really need to get a super good setup for it just to have low recoil on it. It has really fast reload for an LMG, which is always a plus, you know. Since you have so many bullets, you need to reload pretty fast to jump back in the fight, so this is pretty good. And really fast running speed. It handles like an SMG at times, but as I've said before, it has low ADS walk speed, which is one of the cons. It does tend to throw me off sometimes while using this thing when you run so fast and you just start walking at snail's pace when you aim down sights. And it has very low damage, which is 13, making it pretty much an 8-shot kill to the torso, unless you hit all your shots in the person's head, which would reduce it to 4 shots to kill, which is still like a lot of shots. And would I recommend this gun? Yes, I would. In my opinion, it's a pretty unique gun that's definitely not meta, but different to the point that it won't be boring to use. Solid 7 out of 10. So, this thing. Despite the name implying that this thing is a crippling weed addict, it's in fact a really good LMG. In my opinion, this thing is a broken LMG with very slow fire rate, insane range performance, and pretty good damage. What I use on this gun is a low zoom sight, which, as I've said countless of times before, is the Cobra EKP. For the muzzle, I actually use the muzzle booster to increase that fire rate at least a little bit harder from 550 to 594, because I do find that the slight increase does make this gun a little bit better to use, in my opinion. Then I use the pistol grip because it offered the best recoil reduction out of all the other grips, and I just used some random fucking laser, I don't know. This gun is basically best to be used on long range because of its 4-shot kill potential at any ranges actually. but it does have that slow aim down sight speed. From my experience with this gun, this is meant to be spammed. Those were the few kills that I got with it. The pros and cons for this gun are, for the pros, it has amazing range performance. It can 4-shot kill people at any range, so it's really good to just beam down people from really far away. It has really easy to control recoil. I even put a muzzle booster on it, so it's really easy to control. It has pretty good wall penetration. I did find myself spamming down quite a few walls and it really just went through them easily. Basically is meant to just be spammed at people, and it has really big ammo capacity. And the cons are, it's a slow gun to handle, unless you know how to ESP slide, and it has pretty slow fire rate, which is why I put a muzzle booster on it. And it's overall pretty shit for close quarters because of the slow fire rate. And would I recommend this gun? Yes, I would. The Stoner 96 is a good LMG for those who like spraying and praying at the cost of mobility. I would give this gun an 8.5 out of 10. So, those are the 4 new guns that came out on the April 6th update. Let me know what you think about these interesting guns, your setups, and how you play with them. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by pressing the funny little thumbs up button, and maybe even subscribe. Anyway, I'll see you later. Maybe.